So originally today I was going to do an Aiden Ross video, but I came across these allegations and I was like, this is what I got to focus on. So yesterday a twit longer got posted and I'm going to go through the twit longer a little bit and talk about everything that's going on with that situation. There's also some more allegations that kind of hold water, but are also a little bit weird. So I'm going to talk about those. Without further ado, let's get right into it. So basically, this person starts off by saying that they found Kwite's channel when it was less than 500 subscribers, and they wanted to make art for him. They also say that they were diagnosed with autism and BPD, which I believe they're a he, claims that Kwite unknowingly took advantage of that. I don't understand why you would even add that in there. Kwite apparently had some weird rule about taking pictures, and there was this chart that got put out with Kwite's face allegedly with this person. Here's some more pictures of the two of them supposedly being together. They kind of match up. Just form your own opinion on that, because it can go either way in my eyes. Now here's where the allegations get like a lot more serious. So I'll read most of it to you, but not all of it. In the backseat of my own car, he graved me, all the while I was telling him how it hurt and how I didn't want to do this anymore. He kept telling me this is what you wanted as he went, but soon got bored of it and got out. I sat in the car by myself for a bit before going in to join him in the movie we had planned to see together, to make up. He had me buy him popcorn. I put the event out of my mind as just two virgins being bad at hug times and hung out with him for the rest of the day, as he was still one of my closest friends. I have a video with him to prove we were together at the time, that I was only able to post for myself after begging him to take pictures with me because we were friends. So obviously this is horrible if true, but we don't know if it's true or not. It's just, there's no way to tell, genuinely. They're the only people who really know, and I never want to claim, unless there's like an overwhelming amount of evidence, then I'll say, oh yeah, this guy is guilty. Like an EDP level of evidence. But other than that, I try to shy away, because this is just a crazy situation. But of course, people are jumping all over him. But let's continue with the twit longer. Alright, so for this one, I'll change like one word so I don't like get this video age restricted and then less people will see it. Okay, it got to a point where he called me to cut me off, and in our fight called me a bike with a D who thinks she's a boy and never will be. This extremely hurt me and caused me to spiral more. I almost needed to be institutionalized, but thankfully for my social support system, I wasn't. So if you're wondering, that's why people on Twitter are calling him a transphobe. I don't know if he is. Even, like, he might have just said this in, like, a fit of rage. Obviously, I, again, don't know whether this happened or not, but it's just so you know. I want to, be clear about that, and that's why people are going, oh, he's a rapist, an abuser, and, I'm supposed to say the R word, whatever, an abuser and a transphobe. So now you know. So apparently this person was receiving harassment from Kwite's fans, which I don't know how, like, this all, like, ties together to how his fans found out, but this thing is just coming out now, when this apparently happened back in 2018, but whatever. They eventually get into a call to reconcile. He apparently tries to gaslight her, claiming that they are I'll just say them, claiming that I had led him on, or worse, assaulted him instead in front of a mediator who thankfully knew better than to believe him. In this call, he screamed at me, threw things and broke things, and continued to try to gaslight me. However, thanks to Danny, Lord Bung, he calmed down and apologized for some of his behavior. However, I don't believe he was sincere. I always find this so weird with situations like this, where people will or allegedly do these things, and then they'll get into calls with stuff, or they'll like contact the person again. It's just weird. Like, I don't understand why people do that on either side. Okay, I'm not going after one or the other. I remember one time I made a video about Abelina Sabrina, and somebody called me just another dude who doesn't understand trauma and is trying to analyze it or something like that. And it was weird, because it's like, that's not what I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to talk about the situation and give my thoughts on it. That's it, really. Back to the twit longer. That pretty much wraps everything up. here are the next little group of allegations. It's a little weird. Nobody else has really cooperated these. I don't know why I said that they hold water. I must have been thinking of something else, but let's get into those. From about 2017 to about 2019, I was a very active member in Kwite's Discord server. I joined at 14 when there were less than 1,000 people and modded until there were about 20,000. Safe to say I had my fair share of experiences on there, both with Kwite and members he allowed on there. One of the main takeaways I have from it now is that there was a very lax culture around minors and adults being close friends, to the point of where grooming would happen publicly with no consequence. One of which was openly a Nazi and was friends with Kwite and the mods. Now I'm going to jump down a little bit in the thread because I think this part here is important, but to treat someone who's keeping your server in check so dismissively felt like a bit of a slap in the face, especially considering he is 3 to 4 years older than me, if I recall correctly. He even went as far as to talk about me behind my back because I was joking with another mod. Earlier on they had said that Kwite was a bit dismissive to them, which is weird to bring up in a thread where you're talking about, like, oh, there's these, Nazis running around, there's copious amounts of abuse, it's rampant, okay? There's grooming happening out in the open, and you would think they would have, like, a couple of screenshots or something. Like, you're just saying things, and this always happens. Literally every situation there is like this, there's going to be somebody who comes out and is like, oh yeah, I was involved and they were weird to me, but I don't have any proof. I don't even have like cooperating like pictures or even circumstantial evidence. There's no reason you should really believe me, but if you don't believe me, then you don't believe victims and you're siding with abusers. And it's like, oh my god, you can't win with these people. Speaking of people you can't win with, why would someone sabotage some rando's entire career and subject themselves to harassment over a lie? Like, there's no plus side for Orion here. No reason for him to lie. You are siding with a potential rapist. Well, I mean, there's a lot of things. If Orion was really getting harassed that bad, they could just shut off their account. What if they used to be friends with Orion, with Kwite, and they were just like, oh, Kwite, can you shout out my YouTube channel? Can you get me big on YouTube? And that didn't work, so they got mad, and then they tried to destroy him. That's just a hypothetical, right? So there could be reasons. So just to say, oh, well, I don't think he was lying, therefore he wasn't lying, it's not really right or fair, at least in my opinion. I don't think that you should, convict people based off of, oh, well, I don't think that they could be lying. Therefore, because they accuse them, therefore the other person is an abuser. I'm using therefore a lot, but I'm pretty sure this person would use therefore a ton more. Okay? Oh, that rhymed. But I like Kwite, besides this happening years ago. Just shut up and stop letting this ruining the things I enjoy. I just want to enjoy you Rubers I like who make content. Look, I can understand, like, not wanting your favorite YouTuber to, be exposed as, like, a horrible person. But at the same time, you can't just be like, oh, well, I don't care if they, were doing horrible things and inappropriate things to people who told them not to. Just make cool videos, man. And it's a mindset like that let Minilad get off. Genuinely. Because if his fans didn't think like that and they weren't like, oh, it's fine, just make cool videos, bro, then he probably would have lost his audience. That's why people like EUP, like Seth the Programmer, people like that who have older audiences, when they get accusations like that, it completely tears them down. So I think that this person is probably at the oldest 10 to 12, and they shouldn't even be on Twitter, but that's a whole nother discussion, okay? And it's just so wild to me to see, like, people like this, right? To just be like, oh, well, I like their videos, therefore whatever they do in their personal life is their personal life. And to an extent, like, yeah, I don't want to hear about, the extensive personal life of every YouTuber I've ever watched. But at the same time, if they're a horrible person, right, and they're doing stuff like Kwite's being accused of, I'd rather know about that. Now, as for the situation as a whole, I don't really know what to think at this juncture. I'm wondering what Kwite's gonna say, and I'll probably make a video about that, because I know his response and the fallout from it will be very interesting, especially on Twitter, because he's already getting buried. People, as soon as they heard this allegation, it's done for. As soon as it's really weird because people will like instantly write somebody off as soon as they hear a sniff of an allegation. I really don't like that whole when there's smoke there's fire type of thing. Honestly, that's why I make these videos, which I hope you guys enjoyed because I'm ending them off here. The Ant-Man video will be out tomorrow. I'm almost done with it. Thank you all so much for watching. I really hope that some of you enjoy the Ant-Man video if you go over there to check it out. I know that not everybody will because not everybody has time to go from one video to the other because, you know, busy lives and all that. And most of you are probably watching me to see like the news and stuff, and you know, you got other stuff going on. But if you do have time, I would really love it if you went to go check it out. I really like how the Ant-Man video came out, and I think it's pretty good. So, with all that being said, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really and truly appreciate it. Have a good day. Goodbye.